Life is filled with challenges and opportunities alike, and the difference between success and failure often lies in the ability to manage those small moments that make up what we do every day. If you analyze the greatest achievements of people, whether in sports, business, or even personal life, you'll find that the secret lies in one simple yet powerful factor: daily habits. Although these habits may seem small and insignificant at first, their effects are cumulative and grow over time. It might seem simple, but James Clear in his book Atomic Habits presents how the small changes we make every day can lead to unexpected results when consistently applied. In this article, we'll explore the main ideas from the book and review how we can apply them to change our lives for the better. Small habits, deep changes. James Clear's Atomic Habits focuses on a central principle. Small habits practiced every day, even if they are very small, can have a huge impact over time. What Clear offers is not just advice for changing habits, but a guide to building a life system that enhances your personal and professional success. Clear begins the book by explaining a key idea: improving by 1% every day. This percentage might seem insignificant at first, but over time, these small improvements accumulate to become massive changes. For example, if you decide to improve one habit by 1% every day, by the end of the year, you'll find that you've improved 37 times more than you were at the beginning of the year. From here, the book begins to explore how habits that seem insignificant, like eating a healthy meal, reading a few pages, or even doing simple exercises, can be the seeds for future success. Understanding habits scientifically. The book doesn't rely on abstract or philosophical ideas. Rather, it presents scientific research findings in human behavior and psychology. Habits are essentially behavioral patterns formed through a series of cues that prompt us to engage in them, and it becomes easier to manage them systematically. Clear explains that habits consist of four key stages: cue, craving, response, and reward. First, a habit begins with something that triggers it, the cue. This cue can be anything from an environmental trigger, like seeing a book on the table, or an internal feeling, like boredom. After the cue comes the craving, which is the desire that drives you to take action, such as the urge to learn something new or improve your health. After the craving comes the response, which is the action you take, like opening the book and reading or doing exercise. Finally, there is the reward, which is the sense of accomplishment or satisfaction you feel after completing the habit, making the brain link the habit with a positive feeling, increasing the likelihood of repeating it in the future. Practical application of good habits. If you want to build a good habit, the first step is to make it obvious. The cue for the habit should be visible and easy to understand. For example, if you want to build a reading habit, place the book you want to read in an accessible place, like on the table next to your bed. This helps you remind yourself of the habit without having to think about it too much. The second rule for building habits is to make them attractive. Clear explains that a good habit should be linked to something positive or enjoyable. If you're trying to exercise, for example, you can choose a type of exercise that you already enjoy, such as swimming or cycling. The more appealing the habit is, the more likely you are to stick with it. The third rule is to make the habit easy. One of the biggest challenges people face when starting new habits is that the habit might seem too difficult at first. But instead of trying to implement drastic changes, Clear encourages us to start with very small steps. Instead of thinking you need to exercise for an hour, you can start with just 5 minutes. The idea is to start with small steps so that you don't feel overwhelmed and gradually develop a consistent habit. The fourth and final rule for building good habits is to make them satisfying. Once you perform the habit, you should feel comfort or reward that reinforces the habit in your mind. This reward can be simple, like the sense of accomplishment after reading or doing physical activity, or even a material reward like a cup of coffee after running. The more the habit is linked to a reward, the more likely it is to stick in the future. Eliminating bad habits. On the other hand, if you want to eliminate a bad habit, Clear offers us some innovative strategies. Instead of trying to stop the bad habit directly, we should work on making it less obvious, less attractive, more difficult, and less satisfying. For example, if you want to reduce your phone usage, you can hide your phone in a distant place during work or sleep hours. This way, hiding the cue helps reduce the brain's response to the habit. Additionally, you can associate the bad habit with a negative feeling, like thinking about the harmful effects of wasting time scrolling through your phone. You should also make the bad habit more difficult. If you are accustomed to eating unhealthy foods, you can place healthy foods in visible places and hide unhealthy ones. By adding small barriers, it becomes harder to carry out the bad habit. Habits and identity. One of the fundamental concepts Clear discusses in the book is that habits are expressions of our identity. Instead of focusing only on goals, we should focus on who we want to become. If you want to be an athlete, start by adopting athletic habits in your life. If you want to be a reader, start reading daily. Habits become part of your identity. And when you adopt a new identity, the habits indirectly start to influence your life. Challenges you might face. It's natural to face difficulty when initially applying new habits. But the book points out that external factors, like your environment, play a significant role in the success of habits. Try to set up your environment to support the habits you want to adopt by making things easy and suitable to achieve your goals. What Atomic Habits offers is more than just a guide to changing habits. It's a call to understand the hidden forces that drive our behavior and how change can come from within. The small habits we practice every day write our story, and they determine the course of our lives. The beginning of change might be hard, but with persistence and determination, we will find that the changes that seem insignificant at first can make a massive difference. In the end, it may seem that small habits lack the power to change our lives, but the truth is that each small habit adds a brick to the foundation of our character and success. Don't underestimate the power of slow change. The habits you commit to today are the ones that will lead you to a better and more balanced life. Real change starts right here with your daily commitment to habits that make a difference.